If you've been dreaming of starting an online business in 2026, but feel overwhelmed by all the moving pieces, I get it. When I first started, it was actually after going through my own health journey. I became a health coach because I wanted to help other women feel better too. But pretty quickly, I realized what I actually loved most wasn't the coaching, it was running the business behind the scenes. The systems, the tech, the organization. And the truth is, I had to figure out a lot of it on my own through trial and error, late nights Googling, and eventually investing in courses. So now, years later, I've built a sustainable business helping other service providers and entrepreneurs with the exact kind of systems and processes I wish I had at the beginning. So, in this video, I'll walk you through the step by step blueprint I would use to start an online business in 2026 if I had to start over. And stick around because later I'll share one of the biggest mistakes most beginners make that keeps them stuck at the idea stage and how to avoid it. Hi, I'm Samantha. I help service providers, coaches, freelancers, and VAs organize and systemize their businesses with tools like Asana so they can stop feeling scattered and actually grow. I've tested a lot of systems, tools, and strategies over the years, both in my own businesses and for my clients, and I know how confusing it can feel when you're just starting out. So today, I want to keep it simple and show you the exact process I would follow. Okay, so step one is choosing your business model and niche. So the very first step is clarity. What kind of business do you want to start? When I started out as a coach in my first business, I started by selling services, one-on-one coaching. That was my entry point. But it wasn't long before I knew I wanted to add digital products to my business too. My very first course was in that coaching business, and creating it showed me how powerful it could be to earn outside of one-on-one sessions. So maybe for you, your starting point is services like virtual assistants, design, or consulting. Maybe it's digital products like templates, mini courses, or guides, or even physical products like print on demand or merch. Quick question for you. If you were to start your online business tomorrow, what would you sell first? A service, a digital product, or something physical? Drop your answer in the comments. I love hearing how people's brains work at this stage. Okay, one quick reminder. You don't need to know your forever niche right now. My business looks very different today than it was when I was coaching, and I've pivoted several times throughout the years. Your first offer can just be a starting point. Okay, so now to step two, setting up your storefront. So once you've picked what you want to sell, you need a place to sell it. This is where a lot of beginners get stuck because the tech feels overwhelming. I know when I first started, I thought I needed a full website, a checkout system, an email platform, and about 10 other moving parts before I could even think about selling. But the truth is, you don't need all of that on day one. When I recently tested EverBee Store, I was honestly surprised at how fast it set things up. Instead of juggling a full website plus all these other systems, you can start simple, automate it, and get it set up super quickly. What I like about EverBee Store for beginners is that it's all in one. You can create a branded storefront in minutes, seriously, no coding or web design required. It works for both digital products like templates, courses, downloads, and physical products like merch or print on demand. Payment processing is built in, so you don't have to connect a dozen third-party apps. Digital product delivery is automated, meaning your customers get access instantly without you lifting a finger. You can even import your existing Etsy listings. And here's the really cool part. The AI setup tool will take your Etsy shop and instantly transform it into a full branded website. That can save you hours, if not days of setup, and gives you a professional storefront without the usual tech headache. I did this and I was shocked with how fast it did it, and it really truly used all my branding and created the copy and everything with their AI. I didn't have to do anything other than click a couple links. Of course, you may wish to make some tweaks on it, but it gives you that initial setup and a really, really solid baseline to get started. So for someone just getting started, that's huge. It means you can focus on your actual product and your marketing instead of feeling bogged down by setup tasks. Now, I don't personally use it in my business today. I've built a more complex system with Thrivecart, MailerLite, and Asana because of how my business has grown. But I did test it out and fully vet it before I wanted to share it with you because I really wanted to see what it was all about and be able to share something that's super beginner friendly with my audience. And honestly, if I were starting fresh, this is exactly the kind of tool I'd want to use to remove roadblocks and get selling quickly. And if you want to check it out, I'll leave my link below so you can test EverBee Store for yourself. Okay, so step 3 is creating your product. So this is where the fun begins, actually making what you're going to sell. So when I was a coach, my very first offer was a simple one-on-one program. Later, I created my first digital course, and that was a total game changer because it gave me income outside of one-on-one sessions. Now, I'll be honest, that very first course wasn't built inside Asana. At the time, I was still using Trello and kind of piecing things together as I went. But once I switched to Asana, everything changed. Every product I've built since then has lived inside a project in Asana with all the tasks laid out, brainstorming, outlining, creating assets, uploading, setting up the storefront, writing the copy, everything. Having that clarity means I don't miss steps and I don't stall halfway through, which is so common when you're creating your first product. So here's my advice though. Start small. Start with a $9 template, a $49 workshop. Your first product doesn't need to be huge and like everything you know. It just needs to be something you can actually finish and launch. Okay, step 4 is marketing basics. So once you've got your product, you need to share it. Here's the good news. You don't need to be everywhere. When I was a coach, I thought I had to post on Instagram, write a blog, start a podcast, and show up on Facebook groups all at once. That's the fastest way to burn out. Instead, I encourage choosing just one main platform to get started. And I highly recommend you start with long form like YouTube, blogging, or podcasting, unlike what I did. Took me a long time to get onto YouTube, but this will get you the best return on your time investment. Then I recommend keeping a bank of all of your content for future repurposing use, like I show you how to do in my course Content on Repeat. Okay, and then your marketing pillars are simple. Visibility, show up where your people hang out. Value, teach, share tips, solve problems. Invitation, invite them to buy your product or join your list. And please start an email list. It doesn't need to be complicated. A simple freebie and one email a week is enough to start building a list you own because algorithms change, but your list is yours. And since we're talking email, one thing I liked when I tested EverBee is that it isn't just about the storefront. With EverBee email built in, you can actually grow your list, send campaigns, and nurture your customers without needing a separate email platform. For beginners, that's a huge time saver because your storefront and your email marketing live in the same ecosystem. Okay, step 5 is systems and organization. Here's where most beginners fall off. They try to run everything from their head or sticky notes. I did that at first too, and it was chaos. If you want your online business to last, you need systems. So start simple with a task manager, I recommend Asana, a way to track income and expenses, and a hub for your content ideas and schedule. Okay, I actually recommend Asana for all of these and have resources showing you how to do each of these if you do want to check them out. They're on my website. Now, you don't need a million tools, but you do need a structure that keeps you from reinventing the wheel every week. Now, if you're thinking, okay, this makes sense, but I'd love to have a template or clear starting point for my systems, that's exactly why I created Asana Essentials. Inside Asana Essentials, you'll find my full set of templates for running your business, from client management, content planning, product development, lead tracking, operations, basically all the moving parts of your business in one organized place. So instead of piecing things together on your own, you can plug in these proven systems and start saving hours every week. All right, and on to step 6, launch and iterate. So once your product is ready and your storefront is live, it's time to launch. Don't overthink this. Your first launch doesn't need to be a 20 email sequence and a giant webinar. I mean, honestly, I still don't do that. It could be just a few Instagram posts, an email or two to your small list, and a YouTube video where you share your process. The goal of your first launch isn't to get rich, it's to get real data and put these things into practice to build momentum for later. And pay attention to the data. Do people buy? Do they get results? What feedback do they give to you? Then you take that info, tweak your product or positioning, and launch again. Every iteration builds momentum. Okay, I promised earlier I'd share one of the biggest mistakes I see beginners make, and it's this. They stay stuck in learning mode. They watch videos, buy courses, play around with branding, but they never actually launch. For me, what made all the difference was that I did implement. I took what I was learning, put it into action, and that's what moved my business forward. The growth only happened once I started putting offers into the world, even when they weren't perfect. And I've continued to do this throughout my business, which has resulted in steady growth. So please don't let yourself stay in research mode forever. You'll learn so much more by launching something small and messy than by waiting until you feel ready, because honestly, you may never feel ready. Just make sure that you stay within integrity and have something truly valuable to offer. This is a big value of mine. I'm assuming this is the case if you are starting a business. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be valuable to your people. Okay, so that's how I'd start an online business in 2026. Pick your model, set up your storefront, create your product, start with simple marketing, build basic systems, and launch and keep going. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more step-by-step business tips, and check out Asana Essentials linked below if you want my full set of business templates to help you stay organized. All right, I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.